Skipping through the essays.
Oh, and we're back to Chance and Penner Live. Dave, how the hell are you, dude?
I'm great, dude. I ordered my I Survived the Hurriquake shirt. I think it's on its way.
Oh, dude, I didn't think about that. I too survived the Hurriquake. So I feel like I'm entitled to a shirt as well. You're gonna have to send me a link.
Yeah, well, my mom's making them, so just shoot her a text, and I'm sure she can get you one.
Done. And I'll tell you what, if she tries to charge me for them, I will really lay the guilt on thick. So sounds good to me, dude. So how did you fare at the almighty Hurriquake that happened over the weekend that we were prepped for what felt like one day? Felt like it came and went. It felt like we got a day's notice to everybody around me was getting sandbags. They were preparing for the worst, and then come to find out it just resulted in a all-day rain fest. And that's about what. And you can't leave out the 5.5 earthquake. Did you feel that at all?
It was pleasant, dude. No, I absolutely didn't find the Hurriquake or the earthquake part of it, I should say. I sort of do feel like in California we just made up earthquakes.
Yeah.
Just to kind of scare people away. There's too many people here. I don't know. I just never feel them. So I don't know. I feel like it's just an unspoken rule. If you live in California, you have to periodically just talk about them. So that everybody's just like, oh, well, I'm not moving there. They have earthquakes.
Dude, yeah, exactly. Well, although I feel like you just jinxed us a little bit, but that's okay. The crazy thing is I'm reminded because Callie, my child, just started school again, and which means that we had to re-up on all of the emergency preparedness kits that apparently don't travel year to year. So you have to buy things that don't have expiration dates, but if you try to use the same stuff year after year, they'll be like, no, you got to buy all new stuff.
Those cans of stuff, they last like 10 years. That should just get your kid all the way through college, dude.
Dude, yeah, I've never seen anybody use an emergency blanket in my entire life, but now I have 4 because I was like, well, maybe we should need them. Maybe we need them.
Someone's eating all those, dude. Maybe they brought them all out with this last Hurriquake, and they just, the staff's in there just eating them all, and they're like, oh, we got to refill now.
Everybody focuses on big pharma. I want to talk about big emergency, dude, because those are the ones who are really, they're really scaring people. And I understand some places got hit harder. Looked like Mexico got it pretty good. I know Northern California got it pretty good, but it was, the typical case that we find very often that mainstream media didn't really give us the full picture of what was going to happen. A lot of fear.
Dude. Where are the receipts from all that? From all the earthquake stuff? Where did it go? I want to see some kind of documentation.
I remember my uncle used to work for like an engineering company, and he called my mom one day. It was probably when I was like 14, and he called my mom and he goes, "Hey, they just sent us all home from work because they're saying that there's going to be a mega earthquake that's going to hit within the next 2 hours." So my mom is like, oh shoot, like we should get home. And I remember just talking to my mom and being like, you can't predict an earthquake. How does he know? What? Because he's an engineer? He has some like knowledge about how tectonic plates work. It didn't make any sense to me. And I was right.
Well, maybe it's because the engineers are engineering the quakes, and that's how he knew, because they're all fake.
That's a conspiracy. That's a conspiracy that I've never heard before, but that I like and makes a lot of sense, dude.
I just made it up, but I fully believe in it now.
That's one of the, there's a lot of conspiracy theories that you make up in your mind, and then you convince yourself within 30 seconds that it could be true. And, what do engineers do? They design. Why wouldn't they design, the shifting of the earth? It makes sense to me.
What do they get out of it? I don't know, but
I was really hoping that we'd get to a place here during the Hurriquake where you would start seeing like news coverage of people surfing in the streets, because you see that in Florida. People are like, so just like, oh, I'm desensitized to natural disasters because I have to deal with them so often in my life that I'm just going to enjoy the hell out of this one. And I didn't even get that. I mean, like, the great thing is, like, my backyard, my grass is going to look great because it got a full day of rain, but that's about it.
I was hoping to boogie board down I have a long, really long hill going down, but I couldn't do that. It wasn't enough, and it wasn't enough rain. But
the road to get to Dave's house is if there's like a 400-foot road that while you're on it seems so rural, but it's like, and then it's not because it just goes to Dave's house and another house by his. But dude, can you imagine the epic slip and slide you could do on that road, like going down that
You'd
incline?
get some mad speed, and then the good thing is that it throws you out right into the main street.
Yeah.
Afterwards, so then it would be really like Russian roulette, whether you'd get hit by a car or not.
Well, I know that when I leave your house, it's a major blind spot, and I'm sure you live there, so you probably experience that too. So it always feels a little bit like Russian roulette when you pull out of that bad boy, So I think that's the best way to live. Hey, Whiskey Vince, you in the house tonight, or are you working from? Oh, there he is. Hey. Look at that hairline.
I almost. How dare you, dude? I almost jumped in solid when you guys were talking about conspiracy theories. Whiskey Vince is here though.
Whiskey Vince is here. He's having whiskey. Do you have whiskey?
He has
whiskey. He did it. He left.
He did it
with no E.
This is where if we had like effects and stuff on our channel, this is where
we gotta get those.
You see the E that's not there, Eli?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Okay.
If anybody out there knows After Effects, make us some cool shit.
Yeah, or just like a working streaming platform. We'd love to have one of those too.
Or a streaming platform that isn't garbage.
We're moving to X next week.
Yeah. Dude, don't get me started on X. X is a piece of crap after Elon Musk took over. So you can't even upload GIFs. Anyway, sorry, Dave. Go ahead.
Yeah,
dude, it takes forever. I just delete them now. I do it, and then an hour later, I'm like, okay, never mind.
What is it like? The loading time? Like it just
doesn't. It gets to like 30% and then just stops. Instagram loading time too. Stories have been loading so slow for me.
Well, that might be a result of the Hurriquake. Did you experience any of the? You don't get earthquakes up there, right? That's not a thing.
I think technically, when we're all of us are supposed to have the big one, I think Oregon is included in that. So I will get it when that
the Golden Triangle.
Yeah, we're like right at the tip of it. We got no rain. It kind of instead of going coastal, I think it kind of like went sideways and went inland.
So you guys are like weather that isn't as good. Plus you get quakes. So there's really no positivity. There's really nothing good about it.
You left out rioting. He gets rioting.
We have riots, and I will say today was
some people love rioting. So maybe
I'm not one of them.
Maybe that's.
But we had a cool 75-degree day, and it was beautiful. You guys, last week I was dying. Today I didn't want to go to work because I knew it was going to be a nice day, man.
Dude, good for you. That's good. Take time for yourself, man.
Yeah. Does that mean on a not nice day you're like, I'm ready to go to work. Let's do this.
Last week I was ready to go to work, dude. Free AC.
Oh, good point.
Look at that peach tree. Dude. No. Oregon weather is best. We have seasons. We don't really have seasons, but we have seasons.
What were the downsides of Hurriquake for you guys? Because I made a list of things that just negative ways that this impacted my life. I mean, I had to sweep up at least 2 puddles. They were not too big, but my dog also had to wait 12 hours before she got a walk.
Wow.
And she was, it's a long time. She was upset about that. I also had to wait a whole day before doing my laundry. I was going to do my laundry that day, and I was like, guess I'm doing it tomorrow.
Can I ask why you couldn't do laundry?
Yeah, obviously we're joking around. There were real world ramifications for Hurriquake. I know for me, I was joking, but now I'm getting serious. I unfortunately did have to take out the trash, and it was really painful because my roof has like these it slopes down, right? And the water accumulates, so it takes raindrops and forms like a waterfall. And there was a couple times like I actually had to walk through it, and I was like, at one point I got halfway and I just started calling for Sarah. I was like, help, Hurriquake, help.
You're like, what is that? And then you remember, it's water because the water is coming down from the sky and your roof.
Well, I reminded myself like, hey, 3 months ago was going on for like 2 weeks straight and was much worse and much windier. So that gave me some perspective. You know, it allowed me to check my privilege, and I'm proud to say I went the whole way and took the trash out.
Good dude. Good for you.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
I kind of feel like the rain before that, it was only like 3 months ago, right? Where it was raining for like 4 days straight. My entire garage flooded. I just feel like that rain, I feel bad for that rain. I feel like it didn't have as good of a marketing campaign.
Yeah,
because this one, it's like had the hashtags, everyone was talking about it. The state was like, we should do something, we should close the beaches, we should prepare, schools are shutting down.
FEMA on standby, FEMA was ready to go.
Where was the respect, dude, of the previous rains? I don't know.
Yeah, you know what? I went to the store the day before, and I was just like, "Okay, need to stock up on the essentials, right?" And I was really disheartened to find that all the Pop-Tarts were gone, and it put things into perspective. You know, it reminded me of COVID days when people were taking toilet paper that they clearly.
I was hoping for that, dude. I went to the store. I went to the largest store I could find because I'm like, if I go to my corner mart, it's gonna be fine. I'm gonna go to this other one because I was expecting 2020 toilet paper again. I was like, let's go. I'm ready. Yeah. This time I'm ready. I'm prepared. And it wasn't, dude. It was kind of like, there weren't that many people. They were all being polite to each other. I don't know. It was kind of boring.
But don't you think it was because everybody was so terrified they didn't want to leave? They didn't want to leave the clutches of their safe home.
Maybe that was it.
Yeah.
Maybe that was it. They were in their bomb shelters.
Yeah. I mean, and I thought about it. I thought about just moving completely. For I know
just get out before it hits. Just
get out of Dodge, dude. Go someplace where rain, you don't even have the chance of rain. And I don't mean because it never rains in California, right? Well, that's horse shit because it absolutely does rain in California. Not very much, but it does rain, and that's my biggest problem.
Yeah, it goes back to me, really thinking that it's an unspoken rule where we made up earthquakes, and I compare it to the place I used to live in LA. Where, all of us would just periodically, we'd all go outside maybe once a week and we'd start just launching bottle rockets into the sky.
Yeah.
And then everyone would think it was gunshots. And then that's how we kept wreck control down. People were like, oh, did you hear that?
It's an AK. Yeah.
Well, does anybody else hear a pistol shot? And then they'd move out and then we'd keep rents down. I mean, that's how I feel like you should do it.
Dude, the street behind mine is I don't want to say it's a shithole, but it's not my street. My street, it's a good street. And the street behind mine is, there's a lot more cop cars there, I'll say. And they blow off fireworks so much throughout the year that if somebody had an AK-47 that they were just firing off randomly, I'd never know it. I would just be like, these are the good fireworks.
Hey guys, you keep it down out there, okay?
Hey guys,
work here.
Us on this street, we have jobs in the morning, okay? We can't just, sure, we work from home, but we still, we have to be up 5 minutes before our start time.
I like that. Yeah. I mean, you never know, I guess. Maybe there are just guns going off all the time. I don't know.
I'm comfortable with both. I got to be honest with you. If I don't start any static, I feel like that gun's not heading my way. So, I'm not the kind of guy that's gonna find myself on the other end of a gun. Knock on wood, press plywood. Is that your list? Is that?
Yeah, no, that was all of it. I feel like I aired my grievances.
Well, it was harrowing there for a little bit. That moment where, you went to the store or you thought about it like that, you took your life in your own hands.
I actually went to the store twice because I forgot something and I decided to go back. Maybe subconsciously I was hoping that, I would get another story out of it, but not so much.
Quick little story. So before the stream started, I went to the gas station by my house and bought a 6-pack because I'm that kind of a guy. And while I was there was a long ass line. It took, that's an in and out gas station, but this took me a good 7 minutes of wait time. And when I was in there, the gas station cashier and another person were arguing very loudly in Spanish, and it was holding up the whole line. So I have a question for you guys. The two guys in front of me were speaking Spanish to each other and English. So I knew, okay, you understand both languages. And I don't mean that shitty. I just mean like, I'm not going to assume you speak Spanish unless I hear it, right? So these two people were arguing up front, and I so badly wanted to go, hey guys, what's the problem here? What are they arguing about? But I didn't have the balls to do it. Do you guys think that would have been a problem if I would have just like because I feel like I'm interacting in the community. I don't feel like, or what I've just been perceived as like, oh, this white guy buying Modelo thinks, he can just ask us shit.
Dude, you can be a cheese monster all you want.
It's fine. I bought Modelo.
Well, hey guys, now here's my card. Can you let me know what they're talking about? I'm not in Fed, I promise. Yeah,
I don't know, man.
I think you're good to go, dude. I think
so.
I think if you are investing yourself and wanting to be part of the community, they're welcome to it, man.
Well, I left out the part that one of the guys had a La Raza head tattoo. That was the thing that I was like, I don't want to presume.
That's the guy you ask, and that's the guy. No matter what he says, you're on his side.
That's true. Usually the dudes with the like.
That's true. Yeah.
So a couple of weeks ago, there was a guy that was arrested at Not Soak City for molesting kids, and I go to Not Soak City a lot. I know it's a weird segue. I go to Soak City a lot, and I'm going to get to a point. I promise it's going to make sense. But you're there with a lot of dads with their shirts off, and I would say 60% of the people there have like gang tattoos, right? And so my thought was like, what a ballsy, like what a terrible thing to do. Number one, but number two, why would you go to a theme park or a water park where people openly let you know their gang affiliations and try to mess with their kids? It doesn't make any sense, dude.
You've never been to Six Flags?
I like that people are upfront about it.
Oh, I do too. I do too.
When I meet everybody, I always tell them the gangs that I'm in just to be upfront. And
dude, there's
them that I'm not scared.
There's nothing better than the cross section of street gang and suburban dad, dude. It's awesome. That's why I love California.
Where are the suburban dad gangs?
I mean, these guys were suburban dads. They all have like kids, and they're all like, "Don't go too far out of my son." It's like it's hilarious. I love it. It makes me ever since becoming a dad, I'm like, "Oh, dude, this is so much cooler to me," because I understand like this guy's seen some shit that I'll never see in my entire life. But here he is, and he's like, in his own way, he's being Ward Cleaver. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, dude.
It is,
I love
dude.
this country.
I like that. You gotta, those are the guys to befriend, man.
For sure. But anyway, we survived the Hurriquake. I hope everybody out there on the internet and everybody, the three people that are streaming along with us, I hope you guys survived and, you had a good experience.
Paige, we hope you survived.
I for one talked to Paige before the stream started, so I know she's okay. But last week, just to recap, we talked about it was mid-August. And everybody knows what that means. It's the beginning of horror movie season, not necessarily Halloween season, but it's the primer, right? You got to get your mind correct so that number one, when is it okay to start celebrating Halloween in your head, do you think? And I don't mean like, throwing a party, but I mean like decorating your house. I'm going to say mid-September. Anytime,
dude. There's a lot that I just leave up year round.
Yeah. Vince, what about
1st.
you?
August 1st, dude. That's my horror fest. Like anything before that, you're just kind of like my sister. I think even started before that. It's too much, dude.
Wow.
There's a great vlog series that I follow called the Grim Life Collective, and he celebrates Halloween year round, and I respect it. I don't have the stamina for that, but I respect it. But anyway, we talked about Vince. Vince got the credit for it, even though I think I coined the name Horrorfest, but it's okay. Vince is definitely the more
trademarked it first. Though.
Well, Vince might as well be like a monk within the horror film.
I'll be right back. Dave, you haven't seen the shirt yet, have you?
I haven't gotten mine, dude.
Oh, I haven't sent them out yet.
Oh,
but you will get them. But I just received them in. Do you want to see it?
I mean, if I don't get that, I'm gonna be pissed, and I'm gonna want my $40 back.
Vince, go get it.
You're not getting your money back. I'll be back.
But we talked about, Horrorfest 2023, which is a collection of, kind of movies that we're going to start watching that are horror. We brought in our picks. Great mix. If you haven't seen that show, go back and watch it. Participate with us. Come in, let us know, comment, let us know what movies you're watching. Dave's, I'm going to speak for him. But in that show, he mentioned that he takes a lot of suggestions and he likes to incorporate. And I'm the same way. I love, especially with horror movies. I'm not as extreme as maybe Vince. Vince will watch some gnarly shit that I'm just like, I'm cool.
And some really bad shit.
Yeah.
Oh, he's back. Really gnarly
really
shit.
Good. Really just,
I heard you, Dave. All right, here we go.
High film IQ.
Dave, you ready for this?
All right, the big reveal. The Horrorfest 2023 shirt.
I mean, I already saw the art. You already showed it to me, but I'm excited.
Oh, wow. Now you're not getting it for 2 weeks.
Damn it.
We got the front.
Ooh.
Dude, I'm gonna take off my glasses to look at it. That's how much I'm stoked.
I can't see the screen,
dude.
But
that's so good, dude.
That's so good.
That's amazing.
And then AI.
All right,
thank you, AI. They messaged me because they wanted to make sure that I wasn't stealing people's art. By the way, they're like, "You for sure have the rights to this," and I was like, "Yeah, man, it's mine."
Well, did you steal this from robots? Did you put? Oh, they're all. Did you get an artist out of their job to make this?
Yeah,
dude, that's so amazing. I'm so stoked, and the fact that you made it two-sided too. You really put the extra effort into it. Dude.
You got that lapel graphic, dude. That's not easy.
It's not easy, dude. It was actually a stencil. It was very easy.
Cool.
Yeah, but I'm
awesome. So we talked about last week. Vince created some artwork for Horrorfest this year. Again, go back and watch that show. But we actually made shirts this year, and just for us. But it's a fun time. And so
I got my shirt. Wait, I wanted to show real quick.
Ooh,
I didn't make it, but I wore it for this show.
It's a parody shirt. Nice, dude.
In the opening,
it's even got Chucky in there.
I thought that was a warrior shirt, which I understand that's what it's supposed to be. Yeah. But at first, I didn't even see the characters. I thought you were wearing a warrior shirt. It's impressive.
Now, Dave, do you have the rights to that artwork to wear that shirt?
I have the right.
Well, what business is it of like a T-shirt printing company? If you're making 3 shirts, who cares if you own the rights to the graphic or not?
Because they'll get shut down. The feds will come in and shut their business.
Seriously? That's absurd.
Yeah, you made 3 of these? You're out.
That's absurd, dude. If I was a screen printer, I'd be livid.
We tried to do that too. We were trying to do for my our annual D&D trip. We were doing like one of the girls in our campaign is a super awesome graphic artist, and she like made this awesome thing, but like one part of it she like took from somewhere on the internet, and then they had like they called us on it too, and they're like, "We're sorry, this violates blah blah blah." I forgot what I did. Like we were literally just making 6 shirts, but I'm pretty sure I submitted it to a second time, and then it went through.
Bro, this image of Marilyn Monroe and Elvis intertwined in a sexual position, we just can't do it. We're sorry.
Someone has the rights to
Well, come on. That's part of the cultural zeitgeist.
It's public domain. It's public domain.
Yeah. It made me
we all own Elvis rights now.
He's dead. All right, guys. So I think we should do a little, catch up on Horrorfest. Where are we at? What movies you guys? What new movies have you guys watched since the last time we met?
I haven't fully committed to the Horrorfest yet. Vince has been going real hard on it, but I did watch. Vince is trying to get me to watch Phantasm, and I finally watched it. And I know that Chance has also watched it.
Yes,
and I will say it's very wild, dude. It's crazy.
Would you say that it's fantastic?
Phantasmic.
Fantastic.
PH.
Yours is probably better.
It's fantastic. Dude, with a PH.
What'd you think of it?
But it's like the opening scene is like a girl. What happens? Like a girl gets destroyed in a cemetery.
Yeah, they're having sex in a cemetery, but it turns out to be the tall man.
Yeah, and the girl.
You don't know it at the time, right?
No, you're completely lusting for the tall man, and you just
seems like this girl just wrecks him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The best part of it is like it starts off with them getting hot and heavy in the graveyard, and they're mid-sex, and it's going back and forth between like the view of the guy and then the girl on top, and then just randomly it cuts back to the girl, and she's just an old white guy, and then you're like, oh wait, what the fuck? And then he catches it, and then shit just goes like after that the movie's just gets pretty crazy, dude.
I don't want to spoil too much, but it involves other dimensions, and the tall man.
He's kind of like
the tall man wants to capture people when they die in order to turn them into dwarves.
The orb.
In order to send them to an alternate dimension where there will be his slaves.
That old tale.
We've all seen it before.
It's a trope at this point. Yeah, it's a wild movie, man.
It's pretty wild, dude. I never at one point was I like, I know how this one ends.
I know J.J. Abrams like personally helmed the remastering of that movie because he loves it so much, which really kind of shines a light, I think, on J.J. Abrams.
The budget was like $5, so
yeah, dude,
it's pretty impressive, dude.
The score is pretty good. It kind of has like the to me at least, like the John Carpenter feel, where it just feels like everything's like homemade and handmade for the movie. It seemed like someone was like, "Oh, I got a keyboard. We can make the score for this entire movie." This is a movie that I remember watching a lot as a kid on Sci-Fi. It was always on Sci-Fi. So I never saw like the unedited version until I was an adult. And pretty much it's the same movie, just with more boobies.
There were quite a few.
There were quite a few boobies in it. Are you going to see the other ones, Dave, or is this the end of your Phantasm ride?
What are? Oh yeah, Phantasm 2.
There's like 5.
There was a lot of
really.
Them. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Oh
which is weird because the movie only grossed like $22 million internationally for its full run, but yet they decided like we're gonna make 5 sequels to this movie.
It's just J.J. Abrams just throwing money at them. We'll make another.
Yeah, dude, it's like he's got dark glasses on in the strip club. He's just throwing 5s out, going, "Make another one, make another one."
So
well, JJ, no one's watching. I will watch.
JJ, I don't want to dance for you anymore. Here's another 5. Make 5 more.
The tall man's just like, I want to die. So they made one last one before the tall man died, and that was in 2016.
The tall man's dead. Make another one.
Bring him back to life. Bad robot will do it. AI, bitch. Take me to the VIP room. I love this.
What's
analogy.
in the VIP room? Yeah, I don't know if it fully works, but I like this.
I mean, it works in in terms of we just created it. So
What's
I feel
in the VIP room. Shut up.
It's an orb and it's a tall man. That's all you need to know.
Dude, it involves dwarven slaves.
Do you think J.J. Abrams is ever like, "Hey babe, it's Halloween. Do something special for me tonight. Dress up like the tall man." But I don't want to know till I'm midway through.
He's all need tall man and some lens flares. That's what does it for me.
And then every like 2 minutes, he just plays the sound that is like "bad robot," just to remind himself who he is.
That's what I imagine. Like them trying to get him back for Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah,
they're like, "Come on, it's Ryan Johnson fucked it up. We need someone else. We need you to get over here, JJ." So no, God, I'm not going to do it. No, I don't want to do it. I already told you I'm not going to do it. And then they're just like, please. And then you just, I don't know. It's like the VIP room.
Look, we'll get Lucasfilm to remaster Phantasm Ravager. Just
guys, it's not. He's like, okay, I'll do it, but it's not going to be good.
It's like the Quentin
we don't care.
It's like Disney calling Quentin Tarantino's bluff on the Luke Cage movie. He's like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I'm not going to do it. And they're like, come on, do it. You said you would.
Yeah, apparently, there's a point where Tarantino was talking about that he wanted to do a Luke Cage movie with Marvel. So we've often played out that dialogue.
Yeah, because it's so, I don't know. Tarantino's got too much power in that industry.
Well, obviously it's in the 70s. Okay, that goes without saying. And
it's going to be R-rated.
He's going to have a tiara on him, and maybe that's not the. I don't care if it's a modern day audience if they want a tiara or not. They're going to get a tiara. So
it's going to be. He's going to have a yellow shirt. It's going to be played by Samuel L. Jackson, and I don't give a fuck who says no. I'm going to do it anyway. And they're like, we're saying yes, and he's just like, I'm still not going to do it. You're not going to let me.
His little budget's $400 million. I'll do it.
I love one of the most powerful directors in Hollywood being that bitchy, where he's just like, no, I don't know. If anybody's going to do that, though, it's Tarantino, I think. But all right, Dave, so what?
Right. That's why we love him.
Where does, 100%, where does Phantasm fall within your horror loves? Like your horror list? Where would you put it? Would you, like, cult classic or just shit movie?
Oh, I mean, those are two extremes.
Yeah.
It's definitely not shit movie. I don't know if I would put it in my horror like classics to be like, if you don't see this movie and if you die before seeing this movie, then you suck. I don't think I would do that. It's somewhere in between. I would say like if you appreciate just wild shit, you appreciate Halloween, you should definitely watch it. Or even just like cult classics or indie movies. It was pretty hilarious. It's not a great movie. I don't know if it held my attention the whole time, but it's pretty awesome.
Personally, it's been a long time since I've watched Phantasm, so I'm going to have to give it another spin, and I think after the show, I am convinced to do that, because I at least want to see the tall man having sex. But from what I remember, it's kind of a slog of a movie, right? It's not like...
Yeah, a little bit.
It's a little bit...
I want to add though. This is
Vince
the first
is getting
one.
really butthurt.
Look at his face. Look how red he is.
Dave, this is one of my favorite horror movies. Me and Eli have had this conversation. We went to Frankenstein. Do you remember when we went to Frankenstein?
See how easy it is to provoke, dude?
Did I say it was bad? I meant it was like a masterpiece, dude.
Thank you. Well, it's definitely not that. But what I'm saying, Dave, is this is the first one that had no budget. After this one came out, there was enough want for them to continue it.
From J.J. Abrams.
Yeah,
Just from JJ.
Even before JJ. You got to check out number 2 and number 3 at least, because then the budget gets a little bit bigger and the kills get way more intense.
See, but that's kind of the antithesis of horror movies, though. I feel like the horror movies that have the most limited budgets end up being the best, no?
Agreed, but for this movie and the wildness that ensues, you want a little more wildness to it, because it's just like a stagnant story where there's Ewoks running around.
All right. Give me one example of one of the awesome kills that was better than the first one.
Well, it's pretty much the same gimmick. It's that little flying orb thing. But in the later movies, the orb gets more tools for destruction.
Wait, tools come out of it?
Oh, yeah, dude. You didn't see...
Walt's flying around?
So, in the first one, I've seen a lot. I've probably seen the first 3, so they kind of run in together for me. But in number 1, you saw where it has like the 2 prongs that get the guy right in the head, and then the screw comes out.
The graphics were pretty good, I gotta say. I was expecting them to not be as good.
That's the JJ remaster, dude.
Dude.
Oh, is that it? They redid the CG? Oh, okay.
And then also I was looking at the name of the actors. So Reggie Bannister, I think he's like the dude that's in every single Phantasm movie. He's the one actor that attached himself to it. Kind of like what's his name from Tremors that's in every single episode. I can't think. He plays Bert. And then also I was looking at the name of the tall man. The actor for the tall man is Angus Scrum. And I just felt like that was a perfect name.
That's a name, dude.
Right, dude?
Angus Scrum.
Angus Scrum with 2 M's.
Dude, but can you imagine I mean, you said that the last one was made in 2006 before he died.
16.
That's almost a 30-year stretch of like income from this one movie that made $22 million internationally. Its entire run in 1979, and then it's like
impressive.
Every few years they're like, "You want to make another one?" And he's like, "Is my name Harry Scrum?" Yeah, let's do it.
Scrum, yeah.
Wait, what was his name? It wasn't Harry.
Angus Scrum.
Is my name Angus?
Way better.
Am I Colonel Angus? Let's do it.
I would never, if I had a friend named Angus Scrum, I would never not call them Angus Scrum.
Oh, for sure, full name.
Hey, Angus, and the 2 words would divulge together, like, hey, Angus Scrum.
Angus Scrum.
Hey.
But you pronounce
Angus
the 2
Scrum.
M's. It's Scrum.
It sounds like a threat, like of something somebody's going to do. I'm going to Angus Scrum you. It's like, what? What does that mean?
Dude, he's been in so many horror movies. He played the narrator.
Angus Scrum.
Dave, on your list, have you ever seen Wishmaster?
Dude,
no.
He's the narrator for Wishmaster, dude.
My memory of Wishmaster is it was on USA Channel so much when we were kids, dude. When they do like their horror fest every year.
It was that movie and Anaconda on loop.
Dude, Anaconda.
Dude, everybody I've seen people say that Anaconda is a horror movie, and I'm just like, in what world?
They just want to watch it. I'll watch it.
I mean, kind of in the sense that you can kind of say Predator is it's a monster thing movie. Hunting,
but it's so bad though. I mean, Predator is still a pretty good movie. The first one is anyway.
Dude.
Yeah, so all right, so Dave's watching Phantasm. I've been catching up. I know me and Vince have been on a Texas Chainsaw journey that I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but there's a good, what would you say, Vince, 45 minutes of just people yelling at each other?
It's pure, not even
the original?
Pure
yeah, the original. But the second one, the sequel too, is a lot of people just screaming and I wouldn't say it's an acting clinic, but it's like people trying to do an acting clinic, and it's just, I don't know. But that first one, man, when Sally Hardesty, whatever, goes and is at that dinner table with the Sawyer family, it is so terrifying. I mean, the beautiful thing about the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre is that the older it gets, the scarier it gets, because it's almost like you're looking at, you just get further and further away from it, and the furthest you get away from it, it's just even more terrifying. Anyway, that's my take. But Texas Chainsaw 2, completely different movie. Dave, I'd love your opinion on that movie. I don't think we've ever talked about that one, but
I haven't seen the second one. I obviously saw the original. We actually just 2 nights ago watched the remake. And
I can't wait to get to that one.
It's actually better than I remember. Like the critic score on it is horrible. It's like pretty solid. Like it's not like there's nothing too like crazy about it, but it's like as far as like slasher movies, it's pretty solid, dude.
Personally, I think that is the scariest, best looking Leatherface. Like when you see that depiction of Leatherface, it's terrifying because it's almost like he's a scarecrow. He looks like a scarecrow, and like the original one does a good job of making you like it looks like he is like really stitched the skin mask together, which is creepy. But that one in Texas Chainsaw scares me, dude. I love the presentation of that movie. I loved at the beginning when they do the fake like police like crime scene video, and that you're dude, that is like
bookended by it.
I remember in 2005 when YouTube first came out, I stumbled upon somebody put that out as like an actual Texas Chainsaw video, and I had never seen any of the movies, and I remember watching that and being terrified. And then later I watched the movie, I was like, oh, this is horrible. They got me, but whatever.
They got me.
Yeah, it's a really good movie, man. It makes you feel sticky.
Leatherface.
I feel like they use that movie as a template for Cabin in the Woods because it really follows like every beat of like even like the 5 characters. One of them's like a stoner.
Yeah,
that's kind of it's horror movie like way to do it though. Yeah,
like typical, like classic horror movie like template. Yeah,
Leatherface in that movie is like a brute, and like he's actually like scary in these first few movies. Although he's wearing someone's fucking face, which is scary enough, he's still kind of like timid, and you can tell like at least the family members, he's their bitch. But in that specific movie, like he is fucking terrifying.
But it's still kind of like it implies that like his mom basically brainwashed him and being like, well, they were mean to you, so you can kill anybody.
Yeah,
like basically
because
well, that's what makes the original so scary is like they play up the cannibal angle. That is like a family of cannibals in Texas. The second one's interesting because, you know, the grandpa or the dad of Leatherface is like a chili cook-off champion, which is really terrifying too. But interesting. But yeah, Texas Chainsaw, when that movie came out in '74, nobody had ever seen anything like that. Probably since like Psycho, you know. Psycho kind of, and I love Psycho is one of my all-time favorite horror movies just for Anthony Perkins, you know, Norman Bates, that performance is just so ahead of its time. And I love that movie. And I actually saw Tarantino talking about Psycho 2 and how like he went on set in the 80s and talked to the director of Psycho 2 because he said at the time, everybody was like, what are you doing? Like you're doing a sequel to like a classic, Hitchcock movie. And Tarantino said the director told him like, well, in the future when you think about Psycho, I want you to think of specific sequences and you have to think like, was that from the original Psycho or from Psycho 2? And I thought it was like, whoa, that's a really interesting almost arrogant perspective. So it made me want to go and watch that movie, The Return of it's called Psycho 2 The Return of Norman Bates. I think that's on my list next.
Is it actually good? Oh, you haven't watched it yet.
I haven't watched it yet, but I've read reviews and stuff where people really it's kind of like a sleeper movie. They did 3 Psycho movies, and I think like the second one was the most worthy of the first. But yeah, it's a tough act to follow. But I'm enjoying the Texas Chainsaw. The feeling that those movies give you is crazy. But yeah, Vince, great point. The 2003 version, he is a brute, and that makes him even more terrifying. I love that movie,
dude. When he loses his arm and he's just flailing, and he's like, oh.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say too, in the first, the third one's great because he has like Leatherface, but he's got the hair of Steve Perry from Journey, which I really appreciated because it was like such a wrong angle, such a wrong path to take for that character. But the first 2, they play it that he's got like a mental disability. And so that is, you know, that's kind of crazy too. But
that's in the remake too.
Yeah. So I can't wait I'm trying to get there. And I can't wait to get back to the Netflix one that we talked about last week too. But yeah, great movies. What's next up on your guys' list for Horrorfest?
Before we go, question in the chat: have you guys seen Bates Motel?
I have not.
I don't think I have.
I've seen the first season and I thought it was great, dude. I can't remember who plays.
It's Freddie Highmore plays Norman Bates.
Is that
the kid from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
Okay. Oh, really? That's on my list to watch.
It's Carlton Cuse. Carlton Cuse was the showrunner for that show.
Who's that?
Oh, nice.
Who also did Lost.
Oh.
I was gonna say what makes Psycho so cool too is like I don't think that people had seen before that movie came out like a twist. So like Psycho, like the famous shower scene, is halfway through the movie, and then it 100% changes into a different movie where like you're just like, oh, the protagonist for 45 minutes to an hour of the movie is just dead now. It's like, what? It's like, who would do that?
That's what I mean. That's why I love that movie, because the nuance of how that's an incredibly hard role to play, where you have to be a killer, a demented killer, but also get the audience on your side, is not an easy thing to do. And Anthony Perkins, the nuance in that performance, and, you got to give credit to, I'm not the biggest Hitchcock guy. Like, I like Hitchcock movies, and there's a lot of his movies I have not seen, so I don't want to represent myself as like, I know Hitchcock, and let me tell you about Hitchcock, but
he sucks.
He was a real bastard. But, you have to give credit to the director for that, because that, a lot of that was steered by him. But yeah, I'm going to go watch Psycho tonight, dude. Maybe Psycho 2 as well. I'm going to call out of work tomorrow and just go Psycho my ass off.
I mean, there's a handful of Hitchcock movies I really love, like
North by Northwest.
North by Northwest, Vertigo is awesome. Like, obviously, it has the famous shot in it where it's like it has that effect where they zoomed in at the same time of pulling the camera back, so it makes you like have this weird makes you feel like you have vertigo, and then it was like has been copied tons of times since then. But also, like, you told me to watch Rope.
Rope is,
and it was pretty awesome. It's like super contained, but it's awesome. It's like very psychological.
I don't think I've ever experienced sexual tension like I have in that movie Rope between those two dudes. Like, it's crazy because it was so like, it's so ahead of its time. But I love those movies that are conceptual, where it's like you don't leave an apartment for what is it, almost 2 hours. And he finds a way to make it compelling. I mean, the idea. Vince, have you ever seen Rope?
No, dude. I was gonna say, other than The Birds, I don't think I've ever seen a Hitchcock
Birds
movie.
Is dope. Rear Window. Have you ever seen Rear Window?
Rear Window is probably my favorite.
Dude, Jimmy Stewart. That, besides It's a Wonderful Life, that is probably the best Jimmy Stewart movie of all time. But there's so many. There's Marnie. I've never seen Marnie. I've never seen. There's a few. Birds is great. Birds holds up not as well as some of the other ones we're talking about, just because special effects. But it is a crazy movie, and I've
always
to revisit.
I've always saved them because I knew as a younger kid I probably wasn't going to like them as much. So there's quite a few movies that are like movies that you're supposed to watch before you die. Phantasm and Talk to Me being on that list. But yeah, I've been I got you with that one.
That was the deepest callback of all time, dude.
I've been saving those, man. I want to watch Vertigo so bad. I've never heard of Rope. That sounds amazing though, and
it's not like a popular one, but
it's one of his earlier ones too.
Yeah, it's one of his first ones. I think it was based on a stage play, actually.
Okay,
Rebecca is another one. I'll throw Rebecca out there. You might like that, Vince. It's like super like weird psychological.
He had his own TV show too, didn't he?
Yeah, dude. So it was random. One summer, my dad was like, "Have you ever seen a Hitchcock movie?" And I was young. I was like in elementary school. So we rented. There was like a Blockbuster. We rented like Birds, and we rented Psycho. We rented, I think, North by Northwest. But dude, the Alfred Hitchcock show was, I think it was called the Alfred Hitchcock Hour. Anyway, super good.
Like
I mean, it's basically in the same vein as Twilight Zone. But man, I remember TV Land when I was a kid, which was a channel that played all retro TV shows, and my family lived on that network basically. The rent was pretty low, so we it was easy to live by. But that was so the block party weekends were a thing they did in summer, where every weekend they'd have a different sitcom or a different older retro show that they would play for 72 hours straight. So you turn it on at 3:30 in the morning. Green Acres is playing or whatever. The Monkees. That was actually the Green Acres replaced the Monkees, and I was really pissed as a kid. But Alfred Hitchcock, his show was one of them, man. And it's I don't remember in detail, but man, it was called the Alfred Hitchcock Hour. Really good
Alfred
stuff.
Hitchcock presents.
Sorry, yes.
Hitchcock. Hitchcock. Jesus. Sorry.
Doesn't he is that the one where he like talks in it too? Where he's like,
they have like his
opens
silhouette
it up and he's like
in the beginning. It's, dude, I think I've seen a few episodes on YouTube, and it definitely has some Twilight Zone vibes to it. Oh, speaking of that, real fast, I'm sorry. For the start of Horrorfest, I sent Eli. Did we talk about this yet, Eli? Ultra Q?
Oh, yeah.
Dave,
we haven't talked about that.
Dave, have you ever heard or seen Ultra Q?
No.
So it is a show from the 50s, a Japanese version of Twilight Zone from the creators of the original Godzilla movies.
What?
And it's pretty sweet, dude.
It's pretty sweet, dude. It's a whole bunch of monster costumes, and like some episodes are no monsters, but it's just kind of like weird events. It has like badass 1950s like Japanese jazz music. I love it, dude. The opening is so fucking awesome.
The opening is so cool, and like if the Twilight Zone opening wasn't as cool as it was, like it would be the shit, because it's so creepy. But it's funny with that show is like you see how the Japanese like industry like respects their audience. You know, they don't treat them like they're stupid. So yeah, Dave, I'll have to let you borrow that. You dig it though. It's a little quirky in its kaiju-ness, but it's fun, dude. It's fun.
It's pretty wacky, and it follows like these three people. I think one is a reporter, one is like the dude that drives her everywhere, and the other one is the photographer, and they just are going around and experiencing these crazy events and like writing about it. And then the story is based off of them experiencing it, and then it kind of ends with them like telling their story, and it's really good, man. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, definitely check it out. All right, boys. Well, we've talked a lot about Horrorfest. Again, if you dude, we could talk about this all night. But again, if you're watching this on YouTube or Twitch or anywhere else, like drop a comment. Let us know what you think and what some of your favorite horror movies are. The more unconventional, the better, because there's certainly a lot of horror movies that I've never seen. So much like Dave, I like to go for it during the Halloween season. But all right, cool. Well, Vince is coming down to Southern California in like the second week of October, and we were talking about going to Knott's Scary Farm. Dave and I have been going, man, for as long as I can remember. For as long as we've been able to drive. But we had this really cool routine where we would like go get sushi, and then we'd all carpool, go to Scary Farm, and then towards the later, I thought we could maybe talk about some Scary Farm memories. One of my favorite memories of all time is one of the first time going with Vince, and Vince had consumed some chocolate that might have been laced with something. I don't know. It's still up in the air. But I remember going into Knott's Scary Farm, the very first maze that we did, and Vince instantly running for the emergency exit. I don't know if you remember that, dude.
Oh, that chocolate hit the second we walked through that door. And I remember being like... It like hit me like a wave. I believe it may have been a Hubby Bar, and
it was a Bang Bar.
Was it a Bang Bar? Okay,
it was a Bang Bar. Rest in peace.
Oh, dude, it banged. It hit me hard, and the first freaking jump scare, I was done. And they have like random emergency exits, and it just so happened that monster jumped out in front of me, right in front of one of those exits. And I'm a pretty decently sized man, and I'm a big dude, and
what a weird way of saying that. You could have just been like, I'm above average in height.
I'm like Leatherface in the Jessica Biel version of the movie. I'm a brute, and I just screamed like a little baby, dude, and attempted to run out. And the poor lady that stands at the emergency exit was trying to stop me, and I was like, no, you can't go this way. And the entire time I'm just like, no. And then
your brain just saw exit, and you were like, dude, I need to exit this confrontation.
I don't even think I knew it was an exit. I think I just turned and started running, and if there was a wall, I would have continued running anyways.
I didn't even know where you went, so you would have just been gone, and then we would have been like, "Where's like 3 hours later? Where's Vince?" And it was like, "I don't know, dude."
Still,
it happened right in front of me, and I remember I can in my head envision it happening because it was like slow motion. Vince seeing the monster and running what he thought was the exit. He thought that they honored the emergency exits in this maze, and I remember like a 5'2" like worker in there stopping him and turning him around, and then for the rest of the maze was like the walk of shame that Vince had to like like after trying to puss out and then completely just like having to eat it and walk through the rest of the maze. But I think it broke you and set you up for that night though.
It sobered me instantly, dude. I was like, all right, there's no leaving. I got to do it.
You're all, dear Knots, you owe me $25 for a bang bar.
You wasted the whole bar.
But do you guys remember are there any particular mazes from like those years that we went that stood out to you that you remember? If not, I'll start because I have one.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff. We probably went like 12 times. So I'm trying to remember what movie, because they're not like Universal. They didn't get the rights to like too many movies.
No.
But there was like an awesome doll one I remember.
Yeah.
They always had like clown one. I remember like a werewolf one that was really awesome too. And they always had like at the end they always had something like super epic.
Yeah. Well,
epic I mean like, still like Knots level, but something really big.
It was like $10,000.
A lot of people. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter talking because there's like the haunt community is massive now. It's like people every year in like June when they announce the houses, it's like a big epic event online. And Knott's is like the first. I think it's literally the first like theme park or event center that did like a haunted theme park wide scare you in mazes kind of a thing. And the interesting thing about it, I've never been like, because Universal obviously they have the IPs, which is cool, and they have the talent, they have the actors, they have the makeup people. But Knott's does this thing where they have an old ride. It's an old log flume ride called the Log Ride. Very creative name. But it's the only place I've ever been where they put scare actors and people that jump out at you on the ride. And they're like hooked in to like a carabiner that's hooked into the actual ride track so they can't fall off. But that's always captured my imagination because there's so many places in Log Ride. But that's the werewolf one you're talking about. It was called like Blood Moon Manor.
The Log Ride was always the best, dude, because you could just like, because you're going down, picking up speed, but there could be things all around you and you have no control over anything. They were pretty awesome.
And you'd have people that were really creative in the way they would scare. So they wouldn't do it. You have some people that are like phoning it in, but for the most part, like a place like Knott's is a little bit more homespun, right? It's a little bit more small town, even though it's not, it's right in the middle of Orange County. But, in comparison and budget wise, they're really creative. And, I remember one time Dave and I were there. Vince, you were there too. I don't know if you remember this, but we were sitting kind of taking a break in this rest area, and there was this werewolf that came over and he tried to jump out at us, and then like a beat went by. So he's like, and then a beat, and then he goes, hey, so what do you guys think of this event? Are we doing a good job? Like totally broke character and just like wanted to survey us on what our satisfaction was of the Not Scary Farm.
So I'm the general manager here, and I just wanted to...
Dude, I mean, that was the vibe. And he was like, I know everybody talks about how great Universal is, but we're doing a pretty good job. And we're like, dude, yeah, this is great,
I remember...
are you scared? Anyway, I really wanted to survey you guys.
He was one step away from pulling out a questionnaire, like a bloody questionnaire, and being like, hey, do you guys mind filling this out? 1 is least and 5 is very satisfied. But we're really looking for some feedback. We really want to, add to the experience. But... in terms of mazes that have always stuck with me, there was one we went, and I don't remember the name of it, but it was... Vince, do you remember where Mystic Lodge is? Over by Bigfoot Rapids? Yeah. We're getting real deep cut Knott's, but
yeah.
Knott's has a ride called Bigfoot Rapids, and next to it, they had this show called Mystic Lodge. Was it Mystic Lodge? Anyway, it was a show, and they would always shut it down. Mystery Lodge.
Dude, Mystery Lodge.
And they would always shut it down during haunt and put mazes in the space. Dude, they did one year where it was like you were in a bayou in Louisiana.
Is that the Native American one?
Yeah. And they added like this Native American lore, and in the middle of this maze, they had it was like a scene from The Exorcist inspired, and then this possessed girl in the ceiling, and she was just going, but below you there was running streams of water and crocodile. Like it was insane. And
I don't remember that. It sounds amazing,
dude. It was amazing, and it was like that night we went and did it like 3 times because we were all blown away. We were like, "What the hell? This is amazing."
Daner Dane says it's now called Calico River Rapids.
Oh, you're right, but it'll always truly be Bigfoot Rapids. Can we agree? They did that a few years ago.
Bigfoot isn't really culturally appropriate anymore.
Yeah, he's more of large feet.
I don't remember a specific maze that I loved, but I remember the worst trip we ever had, and it was whenever we went with our friend Adam, and he was working there that year, so he was friends with everyone that was monsters. So we'd be walking around, and they would go to scare us, and they'd be like, "Oh." And it's just a zombie. He's like, "Oh, what's up, Adam? Yeah, Cindy's here tonight. Let me go."
Oh, Steve, I know that's you. Stop, dude. I know that's you.
And then we're in the maze, and they're like, "Hey, Adam, will you cover for me next Thursday?" And I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, dude, it takes you out of the moment when Adam's like, "Hey guys, check this out. Gary's around this corner. He's gonna try to scare us." It's like, no, I don't want to know.
This is classic Gary. This is Gary's corner.
This dude's on bungee cords. It's so scary. Watch this.
Look, he's gonna act like he's a zombie. Watch. Oh, Gary, what are you doing?
Everybody act like you're not impressed, okay? Okay.
I remember being so pissed because Adam just he was nice, he didn't mean to, but he ruined the entire fucking night because it was just like a meet my coworkers night at Halloween Haunt.
Yeah.
That ties into another story from Vince's bachelor party, where
oh no,
where it was also a similar thing, right? That was where
Adam had our buddy. I guess we shouldn't use his name and just put him on blast, but our buddy had a connection at the strip club with somebody that he worked with at Haunt, and so we're expecting, somebody you work at Haunt, like probably going to be missing teeth, probably going to smell like corn. And we go to this place, and it ended up being like a legit. It was like it ended up being a legit place. But I forgot about that, Vince. I forgot that he was calling out monsters and his buddies. And
he did the same thing at the strip club. He's like, "Hey Tina, what's up?"
He's like, "Gary's around this corner, right? He's gonna try to give you a lap dance. Check it out."
So look what you does with these
I could get us a discount. Hey, hey guys,
you guys want a VIP room? I'm like, you didn't get us a discount on Grey Goose. That's what matters.
That was full price. All I know is I didn't pay for my dances.
Well, nobody did.
And then
maybe we shouldn't implicate you.
Yeah. But also, I remember
statute of limitations is still
we're good now. I remember running out, saying "go go go," and then I remember the next morning Eli saying, "Shit, I left my wallet there."
I did.
Well, we were in a car. We were all we're like, okay, we're going, and we're all just sitting in the car, and we're like, where is Vince? I guess we're waiting for him. And then we just see him run out full speed. He's like, go.
Dude,
it was in the back seat of the truck.
It was like he robbed a bank. It was like from a scene. It was like from Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid of them running out of the bank and the money flying everywhere. Yeah. But in this case, it was just like, it was pure terror.
In this case,
I had to go back the next morning and be
fuzzy
like,
bears, dude.
I left my wallet here. Are you guys cool?
Did you know that drunk?
We were like, dude, don't go back, dude.
All right, so if you're watching this and you're going to Haunt this year, you're in SoCal, let us know when you're there. We're gonna try to go the second week of Scary Farm, and we'd love to meet up with like-minded Twitchers or internet people. But within reason, I guess.
If you want to talk to Vince for 5 hours about Phantasm, he's gonna be there,
dude. Yeah, I'm ready to go.
At that point, Vince will have watched all of the Phantasm movies, and maybe all of us will. That might be a good task for this year.
All 5 Phantasm movies.
I might skip Texas Chainsaw 3 tonight and watch Phantasm.
You can't, dude. You got to at least watch 3. You can depart after that, but I need somebody to talk to about 3.
Okay.
It's next level. All right, cool. Well, awesome. You guys have anything else left to say about Not Scary Farm? I think we've kind of said everything. Hey, it's good time.
I'm excited to go back, dude, because I don't think we've gone since pandemic, right?
Dude, yeah, you went to. Didn't you go to?
I went to Universal last year.
That's awesome, dude. I've always wanted to go to that.
It is. It's just always been expensive. I feel like even when we were 16 and had no money, we were like, dude, there's no way we go to Universal. Yeah. It's too expensive. And now I'm 35 and I'm still like, nah, dude, it's too expensive.
well, the problem with Universal is you have to get a front of the line pass or it's not worth the money. And you're already paying $100 to get in. So you're probably paying another $100 for food throughout the night. And then you're paying like $200 for a front of the line pass. And so, 1 year I'm going to do it because I have to go experience.
It was fun, though. Yeah. It's one of those things, though, that, it's better if you go right away when it's early because then you can just hit a bunch of things. If you wait like 2 hours to go, then it's just like you're gonna have to sit there.
Do you get the front of the line pass, Dave? Because I know I've gone once before, and
I think we did.
It's 3 hour waits if you don't have it. So it's at that point you have to.
I think we did do it because
that you're gonna do.
Yeah, I think we were like just went all out that time because I'm like I don't know if I'm gonna come back to Universal. It was cool though.
Dude, I love Universal. I just love Universal as a park. And this year they're doing The Last of Us based on the video game, and I'm like in the middle of that. So I'm like part of me is like, damn, I kind of want to go see what that looks like. But
also the Queen Mary used to do one too. I don't think they're doing it anymore, but it was pretty awesome. I mean, it was way smaller.
Yeah,
but it was cool because 2 of the mazes go through parts of the ship.
Yeah,
like, there's even one where you go through and it's like goes into the like bowels of the ship, which is the area that's supposed to be all haunted, like the boiler room, and like you see the anchor and like all this crazy stuff. That was pretty awesome,
dude. One year, they literally have mazes within the most haunted parts of the ship. And one year I went with Dave and a crew of us, and we're walking through, and I hear one of the monsters go, Eli. Do you remember this, Dave?
No.
Somebody's going, is that Eli? And it was my friend Angie, who's currently in Dave and I's sketch comedy crew.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I had just taken an acting class with her in the Orange County Actor Studio, and it was crazy because she was like truly creepy too. She did a great job, but it's weird hearing it's weird hearing a monster address you directly. You know, it was a good time.
I was going to say it was Adam.
No, that's. I mean, it's weird knowing a monster's name is Gary. You know, I got that going for me. But cool. Well, we'll come back with tales about our experience. Maybe Vince will run out of an emergency exit. I'm sure he's going to be
no, dude. I got this time. I remember the Queen Mary. Sober? We went, and it was the first and only time I've gone. And I remember smacking my head so hard into the like low hang part of the boat. In the what was it? I think it was in the boiler room, and I remember it making the rest of the night not fun anymore because I hit my head so hard that I was concerned.
Well, Queen Mary is another one that's like you'll wait in like 2 hour lines, you know, and it's a little bit more enjoyable because you're in the ship, you know, so it's like cool.
It's
the
like
ambiance is
dripping down on you as you're you're like, is that gross or cool?
Am I bleeding?
Oh, it's cool. It's cool. Zombie water is always cool. All right, cool. So let's switch gears a little bit. In the theme of last week's show, since we were going heavy on references from, inside references from last week, Daner Dane's in the chat. He'll remember this. We got into I had pitched an idea for, since Barbie was so successful, what's the next toy movie to come out to be the next $1 billion, franchise? One of them was Pogs. And I told Vince, I said, oh man, you could bring Pogs back and do like a Pokemon, if you had the Pokemon Go format of like, depending on where you were in the world, you could collect different kinds of Pogs. If you're at Disneyland, maybe it's like I still think this is a genius idea, but depending on where you were at in the world, you could get specific Pogs for that area. So it was like a real collector's type thing. Vince didn't think it was a good idea, but I did. And I came in this week, I have a list of about 10 apps that don't exist that I really feel strongly about. I think these is missing from the zeitgeist. It's missing from, what us Americans know as convenience. And I'd love to just pitch these to you guys and see what you think.
I'm an app skeptic, so I'm interested to hear them.
Well, that's going to make this bit great, and you should really lean into that because some of these are really stupid. All right, Vince, you ready, dude? Are you
not
ready?
Impressing me so far, dude?
I'll work up to it. I haven't pitched you any yet. Okay?
I'm still hung up about the Pogs being a bad idea. What are we doing?
I'm pitching you guys apps that don't exist that I feel like the market is missing. That if we could create, in our all of our techness and all of our know-how of building apps, which Dave's brother actually does know how to build apps, but in all of our knowledge, I would just like to pitch some ideas to you guys and just see what you guys think. What do you think?
I'm in.
All right, first up, this app is called Chew Your Food. And so all of this stuff is malleable. All this stuff is in its first draft. We can name it something else. I'm sure there's more clever names. Well, some of them are genius, but this one is called Chew Your Food, and it's an app where you can hire someone to chew your food for you before it arrives to your door. You're familiar with DoorDash and Uber Eats and all that kind of stuff, but this would specifically be like, I want a Western bacon cheeseburger from Carl's Jr. A guy would pick it up. He'd chew it, spit it back in the bag, and then deliver it to your doorstep.
I got a name for this app.
Okay.
Baby Bird.
Baby Bird. I like
Baby
it.
Bird,
Oh, I
dude.
like it. I like
Right?
it.
Cute sounding. It's cute.
Papa
sounding.
needs a baby bird right now.
Is there like a fetish that this is trying to play into?
Oh, 1,000%.
Actually, I thought about that. 3% of the 3% of America specifically has digestive problems. So a lot of people can enjoy a Western bacon because either they have a colostomy bag or they have some kind of digestive issue that doesn't allow them to eat fake plastic foods. And I just think, why do they have to miss out? Why are we missing? Why aren't we? If we're going to be really inclusive, then we need to make it. We need to make it presentable. We need to make it accessible to everybody. And I just think this app does that. And there'd be convenience charges, and you can tip your chewer. But I really think it's something.
Well, respectfully, how about this? If you paired this with people that were bulimic, that could work out both ways. Because then the bulimic people could pretend like they're eating it and then throw it back up, which they're going to do anyways, right into the other people's mouths, and then they both win.
I have a few questions because I'm ready to invest.
So wait, hold on. Hold that thought, because now I'm going to piggyback Vince's idea, and we call it bulimic baby bird. Triple B.
I feel like this is empowering everyone.
Sure. Vince, what were you going to say?
My question would be, is it a direct handoff from the chewer to the swallower, or I'm saying there's an opportunity for fancy holographic cups, kind of like the AMC cups, and I would like
you're getting you with holographic cups, dude.
Yeah,
holographic cups
will get me
100%.
It could be a holographic like bullet, and I'd be like, if it was coming towards me, but it had it reminded me of Pokemon in my childhood, I'd be like, bring it.
You see the gleam,
How about this? What if we just skip all that altogether?
BBB.
And someone just shows up at your door with a syringe full of double Western bacon, and they just inject it into your bloodstream.
Well, we can definitely offer that, but I think for me, I don't want to make contact with the people dropping my food off. You know what I mean? It's like, I want it to be as least personable as possible. Just leave it on my door and get the hell out of here. You know what I mean?
Dane,
Home Alone style, dude. Just leave it on the doorstep and get the hell out of here.
Okay, so holographic cups. It's not a direct handoff. Spit off.
Dude, I hope you get Grubhub delivered and you open up the door when they get there and go, just leave and get the hell out of here.
I put that into notes, dude.
Get off my property.
So they know. I take the Ukaipa Watcher approach, where I'm just like, I don't want, I order them to come drop food off, but then I yell at them when they step onto my porch, and then I give them a shitty grade.
Yeah, you better run.
All right, so that's Chew Your Food. Glad to know you guys seem on board. So I thought that was.
It's baby bird now.
Sorry, bulimic baby bird.
Baby bird. It's BBB.
BBB.
B squared, dude.
Babe, I'm gonna order some BBB. You want anything?
So no, my stomach functions properly. Why don't you get something though?
And then the second you order something, she's gonna want to bite.
This is so stupid. All right. Okay, so I got the next one for you. The next one.
Dane says that's a nay. That's a nay from Dane.
Awesome. I knew half of these are appealing to Dane. So Dane, let me know what you think, dude.
In contrast, Paige said she's part of that percentage. So she might be down.
See?
There you go.
See, I made that number up, but apparently it was right, dude. So there you go.
Well, we just did a survey based on two people, Dane and Peachtree, and that means 50% of people maybe it appeals to.
Dude, that's exactly how they do political polls.
You extrapolate that out, it's 50%.
That's better than
the exact
any
method they do political polls. So it works, dude. It's 100% correct. All right, the next app is called Killo, and it's an app that will show you the market value of specific shanties within a homeless encampment. And within that, it can be more information other than just the market value for that specific shanty. It'll tell you 4 people have been killed here, and it'll tell you the timeline. It'll tell you kind of what are you looking at? Are you looking at the back of a Costco? Is this a bus stop? Everything has prime real estate, and shanty towns are no different.
I feel like this is appealing to Vince's demographic up in Oregon.
I would say it's more of a Seattle thing.
Shantytown.
I see what you're going for. Now, my question is, are you looking to find the most dangerous place, or are you looking for safety?
That's up to you. That's the beauty of the app. It's so up to you. It's it'll show you hey, this is the school district that's nearby. It'll like if you're close to Disneyland, that's going to be more expensive, and it'll tell you like the cops are probably going to run you out after a couple of weeks, but you're going to have 2 weeks where you can be close to Disney. You can probably hear the train whistle.
Dane has some bad news for us. That app already exists on the Obama phone.
Okay, well, I'm talking about for people that don't have Obama phones. How about that? What's the percentage of people that don't have Obama phones? It's a lot.
It's not very high.
It's got to be high.
It's pretty high. It's
got to be at least 85%.
There's also different kinds of shanty towns. I mean, do you want to be in a heroin-infested one or an opium?
Are there
it's
filters?
all over the spectrum.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, I think it depends on where you're at, too, what climate you're in. You know what I mean? You can go get a shanty up in Colorado where it's 30 degrees, 11 months out of the year for pennies on the dollar. But you come to California, you're going to pay more. You're going to pay more for that shanty.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
So they do shanty dances.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's community events. We'll list that, too. Maybe there's like a stabbing in the park. They do it like twice a month or whatever. Or yoga in the park where, you have to look out for dirty needles, but it's still yoga.
What was the name of this app?
Kilo.
I like it.
It's a play on Zillow. I don't know if that was obvious enough, but
it's obvious now.
Okay, so this is the only app on this list that I really honestly could vouch for and want to exist, and it's called No For Real Showtimes. And it's an app that will tell you exactly when your movie starts after the credits. So like let's say you're going to go see Oppenheimer. That's a 3-hour movie, dude. That's no small feat, right? So you're planning your night like, I got to be somewhere by 6. My movie starts at 1:30. What time does it actually start? After all the BS, after all the Kia ads and the trivia, the pre-show trivia, and Nicole Kidman coming out and being like, "Oh, heartache feels good in a place like this." Like the real nitty-gritty. This is what time you come in at 12 or you come in at 1:52. That is the first frame of the movie.
That could really add up, I think, and a lot of free time back.
It would crush the industry because nobody would go to the movies to watch the ads, dude. So none of these, it would honestly probably kill movie theaters because that's probably where they're making a lot of their money. But I don't care. I want to know what time my movie starts. I won't have to deal with your stupid, Trolls World Tour video that I've seen 1,000 times online already.
How about an app called No Small Feet? And there's feet on it, but there's no small feet allowed.
FEET?
Yeah, you said that, so that gave me the idea.
Oh, I said no small feet?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did say that. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think Quentin Tarantino would love that app, dude. He would really love that app.
It's only medium and large feet.
That's great, dude. I don't care if it is exclusionary. Like, I think there needs to be a place for big-footed people to go and relax.
That goes back to the Bigfoot.
Yeah, good point. Or large, I don't know the politically correct way of saying Bigfoot, but I agree. Honestly, there's an app that you can download that'll tell you where you can where the movie lulls so you can go take a pee. I think this is in the same vein as that.
That's good too. I like that. We
can probably piggyback that system and just use it for, hey everyone, this movie technically really starts at, the showtime's 12:05. It's starting at 12:40.
There's at 40 minutes, 82 seconds, you just see half the audience just get up at the same time and go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Everybody just mad dash when the movie actually starts. I like it. Let's do it.
It's like Waze where it tells you great ways to go, but half the people are using it, so everybody's just going the same way.
Right. Exactly. All right, the next one up is, and I'll try to move through these. I know we're going a little long tonight, but I'll try to move through these a little bit quicker. So the next one is called Get to Know Your Food. And this is an app that lets you build a relationship with your food before it's slaughtered and sent directly to your door. So there's a lot of, I, for one, use Good Rancher. That's not a plug because they don't pay us jack shit. But it's called Good Rancher, and it's it's like farm fresh food sent to your door for I think we pay on a bi-weekly basis. But this one, the idea being I'm going to buy a cow, right? And this farmer is going to take pictures of the cow. The app will let you name the cow. You really build a bond with this cow. And I know what you're thinking. Well, what if I'm a vegetarian? Same thing applies. You can name a bushel of parsley. We can have in-app purchases that maybe you want your cow's name Kevin. and you want to give him a gold chain. You want him to look cool out on the farm before he's slaughtered and delivered to your door. I just think the connection of human beings to their food, Mark Zuckerberg said, you don't kill your meat, you shouldn't eat it. I disagree with that. But I just think it would make Americans a lot more aware of what it is that they're eating.
It is closer to that, though, because in a way, you're getting a lot closer to killing of yourself.
True.
And each bite would be filled with guilt and remorse.
True, and I think also it tells you a lot about the person. You know what I mean? If you're paying a subscription fee to do this, you've got some dark shit in your life that you're wanting.
Sick.
You're wanting to make a connection. If you want to make a connection to a vegetable, it's arguably even worse. So I think this would give the FBI and intelligence a beat on who we should be watching.
Peachtree says, "I'm all for seeing exactly where my strawberries were grown, though."
Exactly.
That's good. Yeah, you want to know that they're taken care of. Maybe there could be a live feed to all the different food of the week, and they could be like, "Here it is. We're spraying poison on it now. Okay, now we're washing it off. Okay, now it's picked.
Yeah.
Now,
hey,
whatever.
Hey, Kevin got sick this week. Don't worry. We gave him a lozenge. If you want us to give him antibiotics, that's going to be another $250. But if you love Kevin, you'll do it until we slaughter him.
Some testosterone. Throw it in there to make his muscle mass." Larger.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great point. We can add additives, stuff to really beef up. If you want your money's worth, just put antibiotics and steroids and all that good stuff.
You can buy coin. First of all, I want to say that I was bummed out that neither one of you guys complimented me on my glasses, but Kimster did. She said it was cool. She liked them.
I was trying to respect it for what it was, dude. I didn't want to call it out because I just thought it was part of you. I'm not the kind of person that's like, oh, your hair looks great today. You know what I mean? But
sometimes I don't want respect. I want love, and I want to be told.
Noted. Every time you come on the stream, whatever you're wearing, I'm going to compliment, dude, because I'm that kind of man.
Well, make sure that you mean it, though. Don't do it just because,
Sometimes
I want you to want to do it.
Dave, I feel like I compliment you too often, and I had to try to suppress it. So the whole time I've been staring at him.
All right. Well, thanks,
listen,
guys.
Vince. If you're gonna chime in, you got to come on screen. So that we can edit
I'm
that
having
into the
some
video.
camera issues. That's why.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry for calling you out. All right.
It's okay.
But Kimster also said you can buy coins to feed it certain things.
Yes.
I like anytime coins or again holographic cups or when coins are involved because it makes it more fun. You're using a coin that makes me feel like I'm playing arcades, and I like that.
And really, we're just selling people bullshit, right? So we could do anything. I mean, we could really take the WoW approach to this, and maybe, yeah. I mean, I love this idea. I think for city folk like us, I think it would benefit us. We need to eat in, and we need to cook our own food, and I think this is the first step to that. All right, next one is called Mate Rate.
Whoa.
Using the 5 degrees of Kevin Bacon technology. This app will show you how many mates your partner has been with, which partners were the ones that got away, and you can also pay for in-app purchases for STDs and pregnancy scare reports. So, if maybe I don't know, you put in your name, your significant other's name, it'll tell you all the partners they've been with, who probably had an STD at the time they were with your partner. Were there any pregnancies or anything else like that? It would just fully give you the scope. I think it would be great for relationships.
Mate rate sounds like date rape. Is there a connection with that or
not at all? Not at all. In fact, this is this whole service is to get away from.
Maybe you could track that though. Maybe that would help. Maybe it'd be this guy's got nothing but 1-star reviews. He treats his dates like shit.
And your girlfriend was with him for 6 months. So it'll tell you a lot about your girlfriend. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think it's really about pointing the finger at your partner. And if you can survive that, you can survive anything.
That's a no for me, dog.
Oh, I don't know, Vince. That's saying a lot about you, dude.
Oh, you don't like accountability, Vince?
Sorry, Vince.
This could evolve great into a credit system. I'm not going to say it's a social credit system, but I'm going to say it's a system in which the government can track what you do and other people can track what you do. And you're given a score based on your credit or other factors deemed what the government says. And
we can use cameras to track your face and
accountability with cameras. If you didn't do anything wrong, you don't have anything to hide. Really is the main theme.
Yeah, so I'm hearing this is another winner. So great to know that I'm.
China would probably buy it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I took a lot of inspiration from China for this one. You know, along the same lines, this next one is called the Skeleton Tree, and it takes like the classic family tree app based 23andMe, whatever those are, and it's an app that will show you your family tree. But this information will also include all the relatives with skeletons in their closet and what those skeletons were/are. So if you had if you had an ancestor that was a Nazi, it'll tell you like your grandpa was a piece of shit. Like here's what he.
It won't say what it was. It'll just say he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he was part of the Third Reich. You know, he hid and went to Argentina, and somehow like one of his offspring made it up to America. And now here you are. But I mean, it really could apply, you know, if this app was intuitive enough, it would really climb into the search history of all these people and really figure out who did what, you know? And I figure if you want to know who your mate slept with or how many people your mate slept with, you want to know what your grandpa did 60 years ago.
Combine those ideas, dude.
But why when we can make double the money, dude?
Oh, I
see? Capitalism.
Is this a free app or do you have to, is there in-app purchases? Is there DLC to it? You got to really think about these things.
I'm open to making it free, but but it would have to come with a lot of annoyances and obnoxious.
In-app purchases, microtransactions. Maybe you could have loot boxes that, you know,
yeah,
that goes with Vince's holographic idea. You know, it's like you got a holographic information about STDs. I mean, I don't know what it is.
You've got a shiny ex-girlfriend. She's a complete whore. She's been with 16 other men in 4 years, you know. This is your grandpa. He killed a guy and then hid his body on the side of the road and thought nobody ever knew about it. That's where you come from.
Maybe here's the free version is like, here's 3 girls you matched with. One of them has chlamydia. We're not going to tell you which one unless you pay us.
Or, like, we're not going to tell you if you yourself have chlamydia now, you know?
Well, we just tested you and we know, but we're withholding the information.
Chlamydia is the monster that doesn't sleep, you know? It travels and you know, you can get chlamydia from shaking hands with somebody. So, super interesting. If you
don't pay us, we're going to forward the information to your parents and your wife.
Yeah, it's really a blackmail app. You know, it's like you give us the information, we're going to let everybody know about it. The idea for this came from I watched an interview with one of Manson's illegitimate sons, and
that's where all the great ideas start.
The first half of the interview is him trying to portray like I'm a normal person, I was adopted, I never even knew Charlie, and then the last half is him being like, the media set him up as a monster. What he was saying was true. And I was like, whoa, didn't see that coming. But it really sparked something and made me realize like, oh man, people want to know what their relatives did back in the day. You know? All right. Next one. We're almost through it, guys. This is called The Vote, and it's an app that will show you who your neighbors voted for in the last 4 elections. So, you know, we're always kind of teetering on a civil war. This app will really speed that timeline up a little bit.
Yeah. Just give it the little push it needs.
Honestly, I'm down, dude. Push it. I'm ready.
Well, you know what if you really did create an app like that, what it would do? It would segment red and blue. Like it would absolutely segregate, and people would just
we can see whether states are red and blue. Why can't we see whether streets and, you know, little communities are red or blue?
Dude, yeah. It would be really wild to see these people that are preachy online and to see who they actually voted for.
It's like, wow, this guy loves Bernie Sanders, but he voted for Larry Elder in the recall of Gavin Newsom. Can you believe that?
Wait a minute, that's Gary insane. Johnson actually won?
He got fired from his job, but this is crazy, dude. Yeah. So exactly, that's the idea. That's the idea. And I'm you know, most people want to bring Americans together. I say push them apart, dude. Break up California into 3 states. We need it. Let's go.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on in the chat with I'm trying to track Dane and Kimsterkiss's
it's
everything going on here.
We don't even need the app.
There's koalas involved.
Yeah,
I'm sure Dane people gave my people smallpox. I love it. This is great.
Hey, you left blankets out of that, but yeah. Okay. All right. Next one. We're almost through, boys. We're almost there, guys. 10, in hindsight, 10 was a little much. 8 is Porn Scorn, and it's an app.
Porn Scorn in 7 years ago.
Porn score. I think that's better.
Tagline right there.
I think that's better. I think that's the one. An app that will automatically send recently viewed porn links to your family and friends so that they can judge the weird stuff you like to watch. This one is like what we go for is like the truly deviant, like the people that are like into like, sadomasochistic, but like beyond that, like I want to be choked almost to unconsciousness, to really get off. So I think that this would be great because it would it would just let everybody in your circle know, like, you should be worried about me.
So this guy likes stepsister porn.
Yeah. Like,
maybe it'll get everything out in the open,
Yeah, for sure. And we can move right past that one because that one's a little dark. But the next one, number 9, is called HorDash. Okay, so this one is obvious, but it's an app-based delivery service that will allow the user to order food directly from prostitutes. So, it plays on DoorDash, but I mean, it essentially is DoorDash with prostitutes. Hey, let's go back to the Western Bacon, and maybe we can tie it in with Chew Your Food. So maybe we can have like a cross promotion thing. We can get LeBron James to advertise it, and it's just I want a Western Bacon. I don't want Jim to drop it off in his Lexus. I want a whore. I want a prostitute. I want a lady of the night to come drop it off and make my neighbors one night.
I like Lady of the Night makes it sound so whimsical, dude. I love it.
Well, prostitution should be legalized, and it's ridiculous that it's still an illegal thing. It's the oldest profession in the world, and I think this app would just make it even easier.
I agree. It's like Kimster Kiss just said, don't yuck on my yum.
Oh,
which great. I like that.
It's been a while since I've yucked on some yum, but Kimster Kim, I have an app for that, and it's called Rate My Mate, and it'll tell you, who's had the yum themselves, and I think you're great. You should check it out.
It has no sponsorship yet, but
yeah, no, and we'll have an incognito app that it'll like your prostitute, just so your wife doesn't suspect anything. She'll deliver it in a raincoat, so you would never suspect. She'll still be in heels, right? She'll still be in platforms, but
this reminds me of Kimster said I would run the STD panel on them first. It kind of reminded me of like years back, maybe like 6 or 7 years ago. Weren't they trying to do like? I think there was an app where it was like you could give your consent through the app. Wasn't there something like that?
I don't know, but that sounds about right.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know if that came to fruition, but it was like a massive document that you had to like go through and like fingerprint.
I know, like I've heard that like Usher makes women do that before he has like a one-night stand with them, and I don't know. There's something so weird about that. You know what I mean? It's like it takes all the humanity out of it, and it's just like this is a transaction.
It's just a transaction, bro.
It's a transaction.
Something personal.
Yeah, but that's what, like, I don't know, to me, and not to get too serious here, but that's kind of what, like, the concept that, like, you're going to force people out on the street to street walk, but, like, when you could making an app-based service that people would just, whatever, it is what it is. Take the pimps out of it, I guess, unless you're a pimp, and then I didn't say that. All right, guys, we're on to the last one. Number 10, it's called Beat the Odds. This one's ridiculous and stupid. It's an app that will connect you to nearby police DUI checkpoints after a long night of boozing or edible taking to see if you have what it takes to beat the odds and not get arrested. So, this really is like a puzzle game. You know what I mean? It's like, how like confident are you that you can pull off being drunk and get away with it? It's completely irresponsible, and I don't see the Apple App Store approving it, but doesn't mean it can't be independent.
How about this legal version of that? It alerts you where all the hardcore checkpoints, most brutal checkpoints are. You go so completely sober to the checkpoints, and then you try to act as disrespectful to the officers as possible, but you're not drunk, and then you just see what happens.
Like, you see, like, how willing and committed are these cops to just like foregoing the Constitution and making speech like a jailable offense, which you see a lot of cops doing that.
100% of the time, you'll probably end up in jail.
Yeah. And we won't, the app won't bail you out, and we won't be responsible for your bail money or anything else like that. But it's a fun game. You can prove a lot to your friends, and if a lot of people do beat the odds, so you would be just a king amongst your crew. So
Kim Circus said, "Can we set up fake ones so people get caught at the real ones?"
Ooh, yeah, sure. But we can build that into the app. Kimster, I would Kimster Kiss, I would really like to have you part of the R&D for this. It sounds like between that and the STD and the cow emojis, sorry, that's Dane, you guys can work together. I'm sure that works out well. But yeah, I'd love to have you guys come in and just give me your thoughts on it. But I think there's an app we should make called Don't Yuck on My Yum. Like that, that sounds like an app. I don't know what it would. I don't know what any of that means. But
maybe yucky. Maybe yuck yum.
Yuck yum. I don't know. Don't yuck on my yum sounds so aggressive. Like somebody's really put out and just like, don't yuck on my yum, dude. Sorry, I thought you were cool with it. You know, I don't know.
That's another thing you can say to DoorDash people that come to your house. Hey, don't yuck on my yum, and then they'll have something to think about going back to their cars.
Were you looking to yuck on my wife's yum? It's like nobody knows what any of this means. That's my list, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. 7 of those suck. 3 of them, I don't know. They could potentially be real apps in the real world.
Which of them suck?
I'll let chat decide which ones they can see in the real world. I still think the movie one is the winner here, the clear winner.
Daner said I would have expected a VR game app that would show what it's like being high on shrooms, both good and bad trips.
But why would you need the AR? It's cheaper just to take real shrooms, Just have the real experience. You don't need VR for that, Daner Dane. Come on, man.
I can create the bad experience because I've had enough of those.
Well,
my experiences are like really bad but still good, so it's like heaven and hell is just battling for my soul the entire time. That's what it feels like to me.
I mean, that's kind of like that is the thing, that is the thing with mushrooms is like I mean, that and such is life, right? That's so much of life. But yeah, anyway, I appreciate you guys listening to those pitches. I hope you enjoyed them. I thought real long and hard on them, but yeah. Vince disappeared. Vince is like, I'm not going to be a part of this at all. I have a job to keep.
You guys it got so off the rails, dude. I didn't know when to jump in. Also, my camera is done.
At what point did it get off the rails? Was it chew your food?
That was
number 1.
It instantly went off the rails with number 1, dude.
Yeah. The whole point was off the rails, dude.
I loved it. My camera went down, so I didn't want to speak too much because I'm not going to have video.
Well, don't yuck my yum, dude.
Dude, Vince is only allowed to utter a specific amount of words, and if he goes over that, then he's fired.
I'm going to yum your yuck, dude.
That's what he's thinking about, I think.
Hey, Kimster Kiss. Vince corrected. I was editing the last show, and Vince made this real dry, sly, offhand correction that I was pronouncing it wrong. So I apologize, Kimster Kiss.
But was I wrong?
Is yuck your don't yuck my yum? Like don't pull. I don't know.
Don't kink shame me.
Well, I wasn't gonna go there, but yeah, I mean now it's like that does make a lot of sense. But it's like, don't pull the wool. Don't pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. Don't yuck my yum. It's like British slang, dude. It's like a riddle you got to figure out and know the parameters of. But all right, guys, let's talk a little bit about some of the stuff we've seen on the internet this week. Vince, I know you're
we had just to stick with us. We know we're over, but we had one more thing that we wanted to do because I think Chance found this something that got us going. That was like this guy. Oh, well, you tell it.
Yeah. So this week, I think it was yesterday, maybe the day before, but somebody that was one of the people running the NBA Twitter account tweeted basically. I mean, I guess it amounts to like a resignation tweet, but it's just so beautiful. So Vince just pulled it up on the screen. Vince, could you make it just a tad bit bigger, or is that the taddest we got? Oh, look at that. Is your computer smoking or are you good? That's perfect, dude.
We'll see, dude.
That's perfect.
How's that RAM working out?
All right, so the tweet was, how do I log out of this? Which I love that opening line. I think that's so smart-assy and beautiful. But it says, haven't worked here in weeks. Anyway, the NBA overextends its social media employees greatly to the detriment of their health and social lives for a salary of less than $50,000 annually after taxes. Well, I don't know. I would look at the government for that, but whatever. I worked 14-hour shifts without breaks at times. Shout out Adam Silver, who is the commissioner of the NBA. So he's the head honcho. We don't get health insurance until 90 days on the job. That's silly, isn't it? Isn't that standard for jobs? Isn't that kind of standard? Glad I resigned. No need for a job to get in the way of your happiness. Donate to mental health causes. I just thought, dude, I just thought it was great. Like, what a great way to go.
Hilarious, dude.
What a great way to shoot your shot. You know, you're the NBA Twitter, so you know it's going to have a massive reach. You're not getting a job in social media in any other company because now everybody knows what your end game is. But I just thought it was a real sacrifice for the people.
This kid's probably like 22.
Yeah.
But that's pretty epic, dude.
So this kid is probably young, and I like that he highlights the fact that less than 50,000 annually after taxes.
After tax, who describes salary?
So
like
he's
that?
complaining that his take home is better than probably 99% of the world's income.
Yeah, that's a good point. And like, that's not the NBA's fault that your taxes are high, dude. Like,
also,
that's
you're
how you're
tweeting
voting.
all day.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what that is. But yeah, I just thought, but in kind of looking at this, it kind of spurred. Dave found a couple of YouTube videos that are pretty great. I don't know if you want to set those up, Dave.
We were just thinking about like what's like this is an epic way to quit your job. Like what are some other ones out there that are pretty awesome? I found a couple of them that were pretty great. If there's a way to make can we fill the screen with it, Vince? Can we make it like full screen?
Hey Vince, can you yuck that yum and just make it?
Just yuck that yum a little bit.
Just a little bit. You know,
the dimensions of the video are kind of strange. So let me see.
Let's play just the yuck.
Here's the yuck, and I'm trying to get some of the yum in there too.
We're getting yucky now.
All right, the dimensions of the video are kind of strange and terrible quality.
That's fine. That's good. That's good.
We'll see how this goes. All right, here we go.
To do with medical marijuana, and they say they'll be working to ensure the measure passes in the coming weeks.
Now, everything you heard is why I, the actual owner of the Alaska Cannabis Club, will be dedicating all of my energy toward fighting for freedom and fairness, which begins with legalizing marijuana here in Alaska. And as for this job, well, not that I have a choice, but fuck it, I quit.
All right, we apologize for that.
Dude, what a
Wait. Keep going.
We'll be right back. Pardon for us. Meanwhile, the Vote Yes on Truth campaign held a fundraiser last night with Gary Johnson, the CEO of one of the largest cannabis businesses.
All right, that's good.
Dude, beautiful.
The reaction was so beautiful, dude.
Sorry, our corporate sponsors are definitely pissed off. Wow.
Apparently, the thing that they were talking about was like the cannabis votes that they were doing, and literally she owned one of the companies, the like small cannabis companies they were talking about.
Dude, I mean, good for her. We need a follow up on that lady. I hope she's just rolling in the dough. It astounds me that Alaska, which is like the last wild frontier of the world, is like, no, you can't smoke marijuana here. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, this was a while ago. Like, this is kind of before.
But still, like, I'm sure. Like, I don't know. That should be the first place. They should. Why was that ever against the law in Alaska?
Also, like, why does Alaska have laws? Like, no one's going to tell on you. There's a blizzard around you. Like, it doesn't matter.
I was hoping to launch Hordash in Alaska for exactly this reason, but now I don't know.
Hordash is going to start in Alaska.
Yeah,
and move outwards.
It's the new Vegas.
I love how she just literally walks off.
She's like,
pardon our. We're gonna cut to.
It was pretty good. I'm sad that I paused it right there. I didn't realize it was going to continue. I have the second video all ready.
All right, cool. Too. Yeah. So here's another one. Daner Dane says everything's about money and taxes. We have a lot here in our city. If you drive a car and hit and kill a cow, you are legally obligated to buy it. Dude, if I had cows, I would just push them out in the street and be like, try to get them hit.
Dude, why would I, as a consumer and a lover of steak, I like that law. Let's keep that one, dude. But you are right. Everything is about money.
Universally, you broke it, you buy it. That's all right. So here's the second one. All right, I'll just let this speak for itself.
Guys, what is this? Guys, all of you out right now.
Jared, I'm here to tell you that I'm quitting.
What? Get, go!
All right.
That was amazing.
I love how committed they are, even till like the very end. They're already outside. They really gave it their all.
The only thing that would make that better is if he George Costanza it and like tried to go back to work the next day and act like nothing happened
with the band there.
Yeah,
he's all, that wasn't me. I don't know.
Oh, that's so good, man. You dream of doing something as sweet as like quitting on your terms in such elaborate manner. You got to respect somebody for that.
That one almost made me feel bad for the boss. Like I'm like, okay, he's dead. Stop.
Yeah, stop. He's already dead. But also like his energy coming in was like, you guys gotta get out of it. Like he's a camp counselor.
You need to leave. Yeah. Apparently he was he worked at a hotel. Apparently that was like the employee area of the hotel, and I don't know. The thing I read was like his boss was mean and underpaid, blah blah blah. But so I don't know all the details, but yeah, it's kind of like right before that video too. There were like random employees that were seeing him, and they were like, dude, what are you doing? Oh, dude, it's Jared. What is he doing?
Yeah, so
I enjoy anything elaborately planned like that. I enjoy and support.
Yeah, I mean, good thing we don't have employees that we have to worry about them, quitting on the job.
He might have just been a shitty employee. I mean, I don't really know, but
true.
It was his commitment level was amazing.
Yeah, for sure. Well, maybe one day we'll have to worry about that, but not now. You know what I mean?
Vince, you're kind of quiet over there. Did you have anything to say?
Honestly, I kind of agree with some of these people, dude. I feel awkward doing.
Well, I mean, what? Like, what do you?
Well, I feel awkward because my camera isn't working, and I kind of made a sign for you guys, but it's kind of awkward now. But this is going to be the last time that I produce the show, and I thought that this would be a good segment to do it on, and I had a sign, but since I don't have a sign and my camera's not working, I guess I just have to say, like, fuck this shit and fuck you guys.
Wait.
I've had to buy my own whiskey. I've had to. I spent hours and hours doing all of this, and I'm fucking done.
Well, dude, I'm sorry. I pressed the play. I pressed play on the video. I didn't know that. I wasn't trying to take your job away or anything. Like, I just said that I felt bad for the boss. It doesn't mean like, you know, like. Yeah, I don't even think of us as your boss. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and anything like I don't know if you have any kind of, notes for me and Dave. Obviously, we're always open to talking about it. It's weird that it took this turn. Yeah. And it's a little weird that you didn't talk to us about it before we start. I mean, you knew that we were doing this bit and you.
Yeah.
It's just a bit, dude. Like, you don't have to, you're not like the marching band guy. You don't have to like take it all to heart.
So you're not even going to like do it tomorrow for the Republican primaries?
No, dude, I'm out of here.
We talked about wow.
But yeah, fuck you guys. I'm out.
Skipping through the end time.